What's up, guys? Back again. Today we're going to be doing a header install on an '02 Acura RSX. I'm going to have my buddy Jose here. He's going to help me out. He's going to be doing the install while I film him. So check it out. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and get some PB Blaster. And we're going to go ahead, because this is an older model, we want to make sure that we're spraying and lubricating these bolts. Make sure that each of the bolts gets lubed up. Let it penetrate in. So this way we don't have any issues where the head studs want to back out or you break a stud. So Jose here went ahead and took care of that, got them all PB blasted up. So we're gonna let it sit for a minute and start loosening it up. All right, so what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna be taking off these 14mm bolts with a 14mm ratchet. We're gonna go ahead and have Jose set it up and we're gonna pop them off. So Jose here is gonna go ahead and remove the 14mm bolts that hold on the header. 2 are gonna be studs and the rest will be bolts. The one in the middle will be a little more difficult to get to. We went ahead and used a wrench for the middle one. You'll notice that ours did not have the heat shield on. You will have to remove the heat shield on yours, which is 4 bolts to get it off. But I had removed it a while back. So we're gonna go ahead and let Jose finish taking this off, and then we'll move on to the next part of the installation. All right, guys, so we went ahead and took off all of the bolts. We left on the 2 nuts for the studs right here, so the header doesn't fall on our face as we remove it. Now, we will be replacing this header today with an aftermarket header from the world famous DTR headers. Thank you, Danny. Appreciate it. Very beautiful piece. We're going to be replacing this with this. Way more power, way better sound, better performance overall. And when I remove the other one, we will do a comparison in size. All right, guys. So for my exhaust, Jose went ahead and removed these 3 12mm bolts. Mine is a base model. This header from DTR will not fit a base model. You have to at least be running a Type S exhaust system. So we're going to be dropping the whole exhaust system out until we get a new one. I'm not going to worry about taking it off right now. We'll let it dangle. But we're going to go ahead and remove this header right now. Or excuse me, exhaust manifold. Alright, guys, that was limited space under the car, so I went ahead and removed it. And then we're going to talk about how we removed it. So there were 12mm on mine. It looked like it was not OEM the way it was connected. So yours may differ. I had 12mm bolts and nuts on it. Disconnected there. You have your secondary O2 here and your primary O2 there. On the chassis, right by the firewall, these are going to be plugged up by the firewall, these two. So you got to disconnect them from the firewall area so you can be able to pull this whole unit out. There's going to be one rubber motor mount right here attached, I believe, to the subframe and then to the header, or the downpipe, excuse me. And then right here, we're going to have bolts there that connect to the upper part of the exhaust manifold. So to get this out, I disconnected here, 12mm, came over here, disconnected those 2 12mm, dropped this piece down once removing it off of the mount, dropped this piece down, okay, onto the floor, then removed that piece from up top. So that got this whole thing out. Now, we're going to go ahead and do a comparison between this and the DTR header. Here's a comparison between this factory exhaust manifold here with the catalytic converter, secondary O2 sensor, primary O2 sensor, downpipe, and the upper exhaust manifold. And here we have the DTR DTR header right here. Beautiful. Now you can immediately see neck and neck the difference in pipe diameter. Look at the difference in the piping. Huge difference. Collector difference, very, very, very different. The design overall is for high performance. Now, you'll notice that the DTR header is longer. It is a longer header. This is one that you would have to use with a Type S exhaust system, which we do not have on this vehicle. So, we'll be running straight open header, because that's how we do. So yeah, guys, this will be going on here soon. We're gonna see how this is able to get up in there, because it is probably gonna be a tight fit. So let's check it out. One thing I did not mention was that the DTR header does include new gaskets. So a new gasket for your exhaust manifold to your cylinder head, and new gasket for the exhaust from where the pipe mounts to the exhaust. So Also, it includes a defouler for your secondary O2. The secondary O2, once plugged in directly in here, will cause a check engine light due to the increased exhaust flow. So that's why there's a primary before the cat and a secondary in the cat where it's already starting to filter out the exhaust. This right here, being that it'll sense higher exhaust flow, will trigger a check engine. When you put the defouler on, obviously the exhaust is flowing here, and a small amount will trickle its way into here and still let the secondary O2 read, but it won't be an intense exhaust flow that should trigger a check engine. So I went ahead and put the defouler on, and we're going to be running this all on the car with the primary and secondary. And yeah, guys, I just wanted to make sure I showed that it does come with all your necessary gaskets, exhaust springs, everything is there. Now I'm going to see if I have to install it in two pieces or one. Right now it's fully installed. We're going to try to install it like this. It may not work, but we're going to check and I'll let you know. Okay, so the regular DTR header without that piece slid right in from the top. So we went ahead and put it all the way in, just dropped it right in from the top, cleared everything. You got to tighten down the bolts, and we should be good to go on the header side up on top. Excited. All right, guys, so we have to transfer the O2 sensors over to the new header before we drop it in. I'm going to remove the bolts for the heat shield, the nuts, excuse me, because I don't have a wrench that can fit in there, a socket, the proper socket. So I'm going to take this off and use a wrench to take off the O2 bung, the O2 sensor, and the O2 sensor here. The heat shield's kind of blocking the way. So I'm going to take this heat shield off, and then I'm going to transfer my O2s from here to there, as well as the small portion. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, guys, we removed the heat shield, and you're going to need a 7/8 wrench to remove the O2 sensors. They're not that tight on there, so you can get them off. Here is a little bit of a lip, so you got to do it at an angle, but it'll come right off. The heat shield does remove. I believe it's 12s on one side, 10s on the other. However, some do rust, like that one rusted up and wood was just stripping apart. So I had to just basically take all three of them off and bend the heat shield, but we got it. And yeah, we went ahead and installed them on the new header and the secondary on the extension pipe. And now we could drop the header on in there. Okay, guys, I forgot to tell you that this little donut comes with the DTR header. This goes on the header collector side, and then it'll attach to this. Okay, and this is rotational, so you can rotate it, make sure you can get it to fit your exhaust properly, and then it comes with hardware to secure it to the header. So right now we're not going to put this on the secondary O2 or anything like that because I need an exhaust. And not only that, I already have a check engine light, so I'm not too worried about a check engine light. So we're going to go ahead and leave this portion off and save it till I get the exhaust. So yeah, but just wanted to show you how you attach everything. I got my sensor on, excuse me, and my defouler on. And yeah, guys, this is where you will attach it. It'll attach like this to the header. You can rotate it to get the right angle. That's why this is movable. And then it bolts to your exhaust there. You have to have a Type S exhaust minimum, stock Type S or bigger. I would suggest a 3-inch exhaust, probably like a K-tuned oval or something like that, and it'll bolt right up to that. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna run just the header right now. I'm gonna go ahead and torque that header down, and we'll be good to go. Okay, so the regular DTR header without that piece slid right in from the top. So we went ahead and put it all the way in, just dropped it right in from the top. Cleared everything. You got to tighten down the bolts, and we should be good to go on the header side up on top. Excited. All right, guys, we went ahead and dropped the header on, buttoned everything up. The torque spec is 33 foot-pounds, and you will need to tighten down all 5 of the 14mm bolts here. Well, 2 nuts, 3 bolts. You'll see right there we have the beautiful DTR logo. And everything's buttoned up really nicely. Remember, 33 foot-pounds is the factory recommended torque spec. Make sure that you put the gasket on the correct way. It is not equal on both sides. You got to find the correct alignment of the far outer holes so it will align correctly. I didn't pay attention at first. I threw the gasket on, put the header on, and I noticed that I couldn't get the bolts through the outer holes because the gasket was on wrong. So make sure to put the gasket on correctly, and get it all bolted up, 33 foot-pounds. Now we are going to give it a quick fire up and maybe take it around the block. Open header. So let's check that out here in a bit. Hey guys, really appreciate you tuning in for that header install. Be sure to check out Danny Tran over at Danny Tran Racing or at DTRheader.com. He makes full custom race headers for your drag cars. He also makes street headers for your street cars. And be sure to pick one up, man. If you're looking to make more power, I mean, you're going to either go with them or you're going to pay somebody else. Well, there's like two main guys you want to go with, and Danny's one of them. So be sure to check out Danny. Go check out his Instagram and his Facebook channel, and hit him up, guys, when you need a header. That guy is a really great guy. Amazing product, so it doesn't get any better than that, guys. So RSX DTR header install. Thanks for tuning in. Later, guys.